What's up, guys? It is Jonathan with One Big Impact. I want to talk about something that I recently started researching. So, I had somebody talk to me the other day about something, and I'll be honest, I didn't really know nothing about it, and I've been curious about it for a while, but I didn't want to get into it because I'm freaked out about it. It's Bitcoin, okay? I'm going to tell you what I know. I'm definitely not a professional. I'm definitely not a financial advisor. But I will say in the link in the description below, if you do want to get started, I will give you a link to the company that I use to get started. Okay? So, I'm obviously a very, very low-grade investor. But I've been I don't know if I want to invest for 30 years, 50 years. What am I going to do? Do I invest in Disney or Apple or whatever? It's always such a very slow moving thing, and I've never really understood it. Anyway, somebody asked me the other day, hey, do you take Bitcoin? And I'm like, what? What the hell? No, I don't take imaginary money. Okay, so I started doing my research. Basically, what Bitcoin is, it's like cash for the internet, pretty much. I guess that's the best way I can help you understand it. So the ultimate idea behind Bitcoin is something along the lines of, and I'm sure I'm going to get a bunch of people that are trying to say bad things to me or whatever because they know more about Bitcoin. And you know what? I'm trying to share, this is like Bitcoin for dummies from dummies. Meaning as I'm learning, why not share it? I feel like it's probably super beneficial rather than somebody that has way more information than somebody that's just starting out, and you kind of miss those things. You're going to be having those cool terms and stuff that nobody knows what the hell you're talking about, like blockchain or ledgers or miners or all these weird terms that really don't mean shit to anybody, including myself. So first of all, if you're wanting to get started, Coinbase is a company that I'm going to put a link in the description below. I'm not making anything off of this, but if you do end up trading $100, I do get $10, so that's really cool. And I think you get $10 too, so why not? Bitcoin. A few years ago when I was in Europe, I don't know if it was Poland or if it was Spain or where the hell it was, Bitcoin was kind of an interesting thing because I walked in the store and I tried to grab something off of the counter, and I was literally trying to buy, I think it was a snack or something, maybe some type of snack. I don't know what the hell it was. And I went to pay, and she goes, oh no, we don't take that. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't take, you don't take a debit card, a credit card? That's kind of weird. I said, okay, I got cash. Whatever the currency was, and she said, no, we only take Bitcoin. And I looked around and I saw all these Bitcoin things everywhere, and I'm like, I had heard of it before, and I'm like, so you're going to just basically tell me you can't sell me this item because of you don't take anything but imaginary money, is what I was thinking. And basically, she was like, yeah, pretty much, and I screwed off and left, and I didn't get anything, so it was kind of interesting. In a really negative way. Anyway, fast forward to recently, somebody asked me, would you take Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. I said, no, because I can't do that. I don't know what the hell it is or anything. So I came home and I started doing some research. I did about 15 hours of research yesterday until my eyes were going to bleed, and I learned quite a bit. I definitely did not learn everything that I need to learn by any means, but I feel a hell of a lot more confident. Sorry, I just ate a huge meal. I feel a lot more confident about the situation, meaning what Bitcoin is, basically, their ultimate goal, from what it seems, is it's made up by this imaginary guy, which to me seems very sketchy. It's not an imaginary guy, but he did it under an alias or whatever, so he exists. I would assume he's probably filthy rich. To me, I'm almost well, can you take all the money out and then all of us are screwed or anything like that? Apparently that's not a scenario. But in the infancy, it was a guy that had other guys working with him and stuff like that. They never met. But they were talking through chat and stuff, computer nerds or whatever. And then one of the guys wanted to start talking to some other thing, like a government-related thing, and he's like, whoa, 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 and he backed off, and he just disappeared. So now it's Shiitake something or whatever his name is basically this imaginary entity that is no longer a part of it. The best way to explain, I guess, the ultimate benefit of it is when you go to a bank, you have, say I send you money through PayPal, right? You know how PayPal has to verify it, and then it has to go to the bank, and then it waits a couple days, and if it's a weekend, it's like, you gotta wait a couple more days, and if it's a holiday, you gotta wait a couple more days, and it's like, oh, you didn't have it, or sometimes, this is why I do not like PayPal, sometimes you send the actual money, and it actually, that would be so funny if it was Elon Musk that did this, by the way, because I hate PayPal so much. Maybe he took all the things that were wrong with PayPal and put it into this. I wouldn't doubt that. Could you put money into your own thing? Because you just put like something like $1.5 billion into Bitcoin, which kind of made it go up. In the last year, I think it went from 3,800 a Bitcoin to like 55,000 as of today per Bitcoin. And there's only 21 million available, so that's kind of interesting. More about that later. Basically, if PayPal deems you as like you suck, basically they take the money from you and the person still gets the product, and there's like a flawed process, right? Bitcoin takes out the middleman, takes out the bank, takes out the PayPal, takes out the Western Union, takes out anything. If you got a cell phone service and this person's got a cell phone service and an internet connection on both ends, boom, transfer Bitcoin, pull it out as cash, you're good to go. That's it, right? Okay. So why is Bitcoin so damn interesting? So first of all, apparently the Federal Reserve is taking out, they're just printing money. Like the Federal Reserve and the government is just printing money. In 1971, apparently Nixon signed this thing that gold was no longer backed. The dollar was no longer backed by gold. Therefore, plummeted. Apparently, it's worth 96 cents less than it used to be. So it's like 4 cents compared to what it was, the dollar. Anyway, so now, because it's not backed by gold, we actually have to just trust the government that it's valuable. But apparently in 2020, because of like the crisis and stuff like that during the pandemic or whatever, they printed and sent out more money than had ever been created in the United States history in a matter of days. So it pretty much was really obvious to a lot of people that it's not backed by anything and you're just making stuff up. There's this thing called fractional banking. Anyway, basically the Federal Reserve says, yeah, go ahead, we'll cover it or whatever. And the government and the banks are just printing money, and they can loan money, and they can print money, and it's invisible, and it doesn't really matter. So it's like, where's the trust in this? Like, it's just like kind of being moved around. It just feels really wrong. So I don't have any views really either way. Other than, yeah, it doesn't seem like somebody should just be printing money. That just kind of seems like, we're not allowed to do that, so why should you? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of wrong. Anyway, the idea here is you don't have to have a bank because it can just be sent from one person to another person. For instance, on a very regular basis, on a very regular basic understanding of Bitcoin, you go to dinner, it's kind of like Cash App. You send your buddy $10, cool. I didn't have any cash on me, but I got Bitcoin. You're good to go. Pull it out, throw it in your bank account. You're good to go. Or I guess not your bank account, your Bitcoin wallet. So that's another thing. See, we already like programmed to think a different way. Bitcoin wallet is basically like, you have to be really careful. You can do this thing yourself or whatever, or you can go through third-party entities. Third-party entities meaning Coinbase. Now, obviously, you have as a investor and just like a regular common person, if you're not putting billions of dollars in there, apparently the best way to go, according to like some articles and research I've done, is to use a third party, and then they keep cap of the public key and the pass key, basically like a username and a password for an email or whatever. But apparently this has to be like a digitally held thing, whether it's like on your computer or if it's on a database somewhere or something like that. That needs to be held on your computer. Now, here's the thing. If you ever lose your private key, public key is, I guess, like easy to get. But the passkey, the actual digital passkey, the private passkey, apparently if you lose it, you're screwed. And there's no way to get it back because nobody actually works at Bitcoin. It's like a thing that the only thing that you're ever going to see is like miners. And the understanding to understand what a miner is like when I send somebody money, because it's invisible people that don't work there, it's just like computers basically running like the data over and over just to make sure, like verifying purchases and things like that. So if I send you $10, it goes to like this basically server warehouse or whatever, basically like a Google or internet type thing, similar to that, and it goes through one computer, boom, 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 goes through all these computers really freaking fast all over the world, and apparently because it is run by all these miners and everything like that, miners meaning like computer farm, it shoots over to the next person, and it's irrefutable. They can't get your money back. There's no way. Once it's sent, it's done. It's gold in 5 seconds, less than that. Whatever it takes for a text to go through, pretty much, basically. So these companies, these miner farms or whatever, get paid in actual Bitcoin and stuff like that. But you can pay with all kinds of things. And originally, people were like worried about like things attached to like the bad part of the internet and stuff like that. People don't go there. I never gone there. I do not never want to go there. But originally, people were worried about it being attached to that. But now you can pay like cell phone bills. You can pay like your electricity. Big companies are adapting it to where they're part of it. Now, here's the thing. Do I recommend like getting into it? I can't really give you that advice because I've never actually done anything in regards to investing. All I'm doing is looking at the trend. First of all, you got Elon Musk just put $1.5 billion in it. Another guy just put $1 billion in it recently, and it's going up and down. Okay, so the thing that they're saying is, if you're looking to get rich quick, it's probably not the thing to do. But if you're looking to take it as like a long-term investment and maybe, 50, 60 years down the road, it could be a massive payout over time. My thing is, I'll be completely honest, what I'm doing is I want to try to put in as much as I can, maybe about 5% of my income, and then the other 5%, just regular old savings. I know it sounds silly, but apparently, after doing some research, you actually lose 2% of your money each year by just saving money, which kind of sucks because of inflation, which I also didn't know until yesterday, which actually really kind of sucks because I don't want to lose money. So for every $100 you lose $2 every year. Now, in the same sense, it's kind of like saying, well, I want to save $100 a month, but I'm going to lose $2 a month, or 5% a month. So $5 out of every 100. So out of 12 times 5, 12 times 5, 46, 48. 12 times 4 is 48, plus 12, $60. So you saved $1,200, so you got $60. So at the end of the year, even if you lost 5%, you still saved $1,140. So I think it's kind of interesting for people to say that it's not worth saving money because you're losing money anyway. Well, who gives a shit? Like, I would rather save $1,140 rather than and lose $60, even if that was like 5% loss, rather than not saving anything and then being completely screwed. So saying saving is a bad idea is probably a bad idea. I think you should still save money. But I also think that if you can do a portion here and a portion in another place that you'll actually grow money, that's kind of nice. That's kind of the idea behind, stocks and bonds and, investments and stuff like that. But I think it's kind of interesting because if you think about it, the whole idea for Bitcoin is like to access and tap, all 7 billion people around the world. Apparently there's like something like 2.5 billion people without access to a banking system or any type of thing. And the problem is, because of that, they're not going to be able to put themselves in a position to where they can have stable money because their local governments are so corrupt or whatever. They say, oh yeah, well, you thought you had $1,000, but we took it. So, and the thing is with this whole understanding the whole blockchain, basically, like the blockchain and the miners and stuff like that, the blockchain like verifies it like 1,000,000 times over. So the long-term thing, the other thing besides Bitcoin that I invested in, just $40, okay, is Ethereum. So basically what Ethereum is it's like I guess you could consider Bitcoin as like gold and maybe Ethereum as like silver, but like with more possibilities, because a hell of a lot more people can own silver and do things with silver than they can with gold, because not everybody can afford gold, if that makes sense. And it's kind of a twist a little bit further than that. The gold standard, meaning the currency, the currency of Bitcoin being so rare, of only 21 million available, and it's capped off, that's what makes it rare. So they can print money, but you can't print more Bitcoin. There are only 21 million available. So it's like a very tight commodity, meaning like if everybody in the room had $10, then it's no big deal if we all go to lunch or something like that. But if everybody lost their $10 except for one person, that one $10 is a hell of a lot more important to everybody. Meaning like the value of that $10 just skyrocketed, because now only everybody gets $1. You know what? Before, it's like everybody's got $10, no problem, right? But then when only one person's got it, meaning the $21 million is a hell of a lot more scarce. So it's more there. It's backed by something. It's backed by scarcity, if that makes sense. Kind of like gold was 50 years ago. Exactly 50 years ago. Holy crap, that's crazy. 81, 91, 01, 21, 11, 21. Wow, that's crazy. Whoa, 50 years it took it to collapse. Apparently, I don't know. I am not speculating. I have no idea. But so silver being Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum's like at like 1,500 per coin or whatever, and Bitcoin is at 55,000 roughly, something crap like that right now. So they're wildly different, just like gold and silver. That's why I say it like that. I don't think anybody actually made that correlation, but that seems very kind of what it is like to me. Now, what I mean by being able to do a little bit more with Ethereum, it's actually made by this Canadian guy, Lacamere or something like that. He's really kind of a strange-looking individual, but he's pretty smart, obviously. Apparently, he invented it at 19 years old, which is kind of interesting, and now he's only 23. Anyway, the idea with Ethereum is you can connect it, and I don't know the exact information, but what it sounds like to me is currency would be Bitcoin, okay? Transferring back and forth and stuff, like a one world currency, very similar to that. And I don't want that to be confused with like a conspiracy or anything like that. But I'll talk a little bit on that for a second here in a minute. Why I think it might be a good idea to do it, but obviously that's up to you. And full disclosure, I'm not giving you financial advice. Let's be honest, that's probably not a good idea. But have some faith in this. So the idea with Ethereum is it can be programmed, okay? Bitcoin's done, dude disappeared, right? That's it. It's like a straight line, just currency, right? It's an online currency. Now, Ethereum has a little bit more of an application available, meaning you can do things like land or assets or titles or whatever. I don't know the exact what they're trying to do with it, but I guess basically from what I understand is it could be something like, say you're in Zimbabwe or something like that, and you're trying to prove, like, your dad gives you a farm, and now because of corrupt governments and stuff, government might say, oh yeah, that farm was yours. I don't actually have record of that. That's not true. And they take it. right? And then now, boom, you're poor again. You have nothing, and maybe you have to pay taxes to them or something like that, or they try to charge you for it, and you're forever stuck. So not only can this be prosperity, because now if you have that blockchain technology, meaning like you put the information in there and you say this is owned to this person, it is verified all over the world, a million billion times over, all over the world, and there is no refuting that. It's an unhackable system. It can't be hacked. So there's no way of saying that that land is not yours. Therefore, now you can start to build yourself like a cycle. Maybe in this next 100 years, maybe not. Maybe you won't get where you're needing to go in the next 100 years. But maybe 3 or 4 lines down from those countries that are impoverished and having absolute like catastrophic failures because of their disrupted governments or anything like that, maybe they can eventually to their grandchildren can prosper. You know, because maybe they got to work the land for the next 50 years. But then maybe, you know, their children can make a living, and then their grandchildren can actually prosper and give and leave something special to the next person or whatever. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Like, it's more of like a fixed thing, like kind of even on the out realm of, oh, I bought this piece of art, or I bought this item from so-and-so, and it's almost like a bill of sale, but it's like irrefutable. Like, you don't even have to worry about it. Like, oh, I bought this, and it confirmed it in the system. And it's done. Like, there's no saying it didn't happen or it was done the wrong way or anything like that, which I think is really great. Like, it's kind of like a receipt you didn't even have to keep. And there's no way of saying that it wasn't yours, because it was yours for sure. So, the reason I think that all this is going good is because there's a lot of people that have beliefs, and I'm not political or anything like that. But I know that when Trump didn't win, there was a lot of people that think like the government it was like a fixed thing or whatever. Any which way people thought or anything, a lot of people around the world, whether you believe it or not, lost faith in the government. And then a lot of other people lost faith in the dollar after they started printing it and just sending it to people all over the world and everything. And then there's a lot of people that think, you know, some of these up-and-comers that are thinking, you know, the Illuminati and, like, the government's trying to control us and stuff. I don't really know whether all that stuff's true. I don't really care. I just want to kind of do my own thing and just be safe and happy and travel and work hard and give back to people and just do my best and stuff like that. But I know there's people that are, like, paranoid and people that are, like, maybe doomsday preppers and stuff like that, and I think the world's ending. So a lot of those people, of all those different types of people, and it really doesn't matter where you're at. Like, even if you're like me, you want to invest, but you also want to invest because hopefully you make enough money to be able to get a cabin and kind of, you know, do something with your life in the later years, and maybe a slight investment so you can take care of yourself when you get older, because you don't really know what's going to happen to Social Security. Is it going to be around? I don't know, you know, and that's kind of like long-term thinking or whatever, but I know that's kind of weird, but I'm 39 years old, so maybe it's half over or whatever, so it's kind of something to start thinking about. So I know a lot of these mixture of these people, whichever category you're in, and there's nothing wrong with any category. Trust me, at one point in my life, I've probably been on all different realms of them. But it's important that you understand all of these are converging into Bitcoin and kind of making it rise, because whatever you believe is you're kind of betting on people's paranoia of the government not really kind of doing its own part and stuff like that. And I think it's a pretty good consensus, especially with like the way that the pandemic went and stuff, and everybody's kind of freaked out about that. So I would imagine, I have no clue. I've heard all kinds of different things. I just watched a video that said it's going to go to like 325, 322. Somebody else told me like 5 million. It just kind of depends on what you think. I would imagine that you're going to see, I would think that you're going to see some dips and climbs or whatever, but I would say overall, over the next like 5 or 10 years, you're probably going to see a pretty significant climb. I have no clue. Like, I know just a tiny little snippet of a fraction of exactly what the hell this stuff's all about, to be honest. But I will say I have learned quite a bit more than I knew a few days ago. I threw $40 on Ethereum. Oh, I can't say it now. What the hell? I was just fine. Ethereum. Oh my god. Ethereum. There we go. Ethereum. And then Bitcoin. And I know when you go through that Coinbase thing, you can actually do little kind of reward things, like watch a video and answer a question about different Coinbase companies, because apparently there's like thousands of them now. Now, I will say a lot of people have been saying all over the place, don't be one of those people that tries to go in there and get rich quick. Like, meaning like if the price of something goes down, don't change it for like a bunch of Bitcoin towards something else or something like that. Just kind of whatever you stick with it and stay there. You know what I mean? Like, because apparently that's how a lot of people are losing their money, because you get like fees every time you change and stuff like that. I think Coinbase, depending on kind of how you invest, it's like $1.99 when you buy and $1.99 when you sell. And I think that's not bad. Kind of sucks for me because I'm not like, if it was like $1,000, it might not be that bad. But if it's like $40, that's kind of a high percentage or whatever. But I guess like if you think of it long term, it's probably not that big a deal. You know, I would love to say, you know, get like $10,000 into there eventually, and then maybe it turns into $100,000. I don't know, something like that, and then buy a cabin or travel the world or something special or whatever. But I guess it's a highly speculative thing, meaning you really don't know which way it's going. It could be tanked out tomorrow, so I would probably recommend, if you did do something like this, make sure you don't do anything stupid. Like, don't put all your money in the world in it and stuff like that. And again, I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not even going to pretend to be. But I would say, I think it's worth, you know, kind of checking into if you got a chance. And I just wanted to share that. I know that's completely off target and off topic of anything I ever talk about. But do some research. It might be kind of an interesting thing to you to be able to just, at least at very minimum, learn a little bit about it, because if it does end up starting to be like our basic line of currency, and don't get me wrong, I love cash, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see cash go away. But I also like new and upcoming things, and I'll be completely honest, for 90% of the time, I really don't carry around much cash. It's usually a debit card or a credit card or something like that. That's kind of how we do it, I think. The only time I get cash is when something actually forces me to get cash. Like doing laundry or something. Anyway, if you have any questions, maybe by the time you watch this video, I will have more information, or maybe I'll be furtherly invested, or maybe I won't be invested at all, or maybe I'll be a freaking millionaire. Who knows? You guys, if you have questions, put them in the comment section below. If you have invested or you have answers, please put them in the comment section below. I will not be posting anything besides like that one little link in the description. So watch out, like if people are like saying call this number and stuff like that. I don't know how all that works, but a lot of people are saying that, and it's like just people trying to be little turds about it. Anytime there's actually money floating around, people get a little bit weird. So be wary, be smart, but check into it. I think it'll be cool. It's kind of interesting to me. Quite the topic. Be stronger than excuses. Remember to spread love, not hate. Drink your damn water. I wish you guys all the best. I hope you guys all become millionaires in any way. Have a good day, guys.